Partivänner, vår nästa gäst är en man som talar om respekt. Men inte minst så väcker han respekt. Det är en av Europas skickligaste politiker som jag är stolt över att kunna kalla både kollega och vän. Tysklands nästa förbundskansler, det nästa Bundeskansler Deutschlands, Olaf Scholz. Välkommen.
Dear friends, dear Stefan, dear Magdalena, let me first congratulate you on your election as the new leader of the SEP. But let me also congratulate all of you, delegates and members of the Swedish Social Democratic Party, on electing Magdalena as your new chairperson. I'm deeply convinced that you did the right thing. In fact, you could not have made a better choice. Magdalena is straightforward. She is a person who sees reality as it is, who says things as they are, and who does what is needed. The one German word that comes to my mind to describe Magdalena is Aufrichtigkeit. Magdalena and I have known each other for many years. I fondly remember many fruitful discussions with her over the years, for example, during conferences of the International Progressive Governance Network. And later, we both became finance ministers. We have worked together even more closely. Magdalena and I share many convictions with regard to sound fiscal policy and our ideas on an active, innovative, just and inclusive social investment state. We share the same pride in our common social democratic heritage. The likes of Olof Palme, Willy Brandt and Bruno Kreisky continue to inspire us. We also share the same thoughts, concerns, and the same hopes when it comes to the future of social democracy. I think it is fair to say that our political movement experienced great times and achieved great things in the past. And here I will say this: Stefan will take a proud place in that history. Stefan, as European Social Democrats, we look back on good years of close cooperation with you. Stefan was the leader of your party for 10 years. He has been your prime minister for 7 years. From my perspective, Stefan has done a truly admirable job, steering the SAP and the Swedish government in difficult times and in a difficult and challenging environment, both at home and internationally. So, in the name of the German Social Democratic Party, let me sincerely thank you, Stefan, for all your good work and for all your close collaboration with us in Germany. Now Magdalena will carry the torch forward, and I'm sure that is a very good decision. I'm convinced that in her capacity as party leader and quite likely as your next Prime Minister, Magdalena will do an outstanding job. We are currently witnessing, and we are part of, a remarkable revival of social democratic and progressive parties across Europe and the world. Sweden has been a stalwart of social democratic strength even in the most difficult times. More recently, our friends in Denmark, Finland and now Norway have been on the rise again too. Our friends in Portugal and Spain have been doing fine. All of this has inspired us a lot. And Joe Biden's victory in the United States gave all of us quite a boost of additional encouragement. With this tailwind, we entered our German parliamentary elections campaign this year. And I can report that we did much better than most observers expected us to do. Ever since, I've been asked many times, what just happened in Germany? And even more important, why did it happen? How did you do it? I would be very happy to give you a brief overview of both topics. The Social Democratic Party won 25.7% of the overall vote. This means we increased our vote by more than 5 percentage points compared to the 2017 election. But it gets better. The fact that most opinion polls taken since 2017 had the SPD around 15% means that during the final months of the campaign, we even increased our vote by about 10 points. In absolute numbers, about 12 million Germans cast their votes for the SPD, up from 9.5 million in 2017, so that is a net increase of 2.5 million voters. Where did our new voters come from politically? Basically, they come from nearly all political directions at once. Altogether, what we managed to bring about in this re-election was a clear step toward a reconstruction of the traditional social democratic voter coalition. In Germany, this social democratic voter coalition has since the 1970s included significant parts of the well-educated middle classes, public servants and white-collar workers. But the core of this traditional SPD voter coalition has always been its strong base among blue-collar working class voters, service workers and employees, both skilled and unskilled. These are the very people who have, as you all know, over the last couple of decades, almost everywhere lost much of their faith in traditional social democratic or progressive parties. Our German SPD, Labour in the UK, or the Parti Socialiste in France are cautionary examples. Until Joe Biden's recent victory, the American Democrats experienced the same development. This made Trump possible. This made Brexit possible. And in the German case, it led to the rise of the right-wing nationalist AfD party. Social democratic parties everywhere have been grappling with this issue for many years now. I do not claim to have found a magic formula to solve this conundrum. I'm just going to tell you what we did in Germany and why I think our campaign worked. Of course, there are many aspects to this. The campaign, run professionally, clear messaging, and all of that. But in essence, we succeeded because we developed a new approach to reconnect with voters. That approach can be summarized in one central idea, one central category, one clear moral argument: respect. Respect, this is what everybody expects in his or her life. To be respected, recognized, appreciated, and accepted for what you are. Respect, that is what everybody deserves as human beings, in their private lives, in their professional lives, and as citizens. But very often people don't get that respect. Very often people do not feel recognized and appreciated. Today we live in societies that consider themselves meritocratic. Our societies falsely claim to be marked merely by achievement. Money and ambition are celebrated. And as social democrats, we cannot possibly claim that merit and ambition are entirely bad, because they aren't. Our movement was founded by common people who wanted better lives, a better education, and better jobs for themselves and for their children. Social democracy was founded on the idea that making an effort in getting ahead must be possible for all. And in a way, we succeeded beyond the wildest dreams of our social democratic ancestors. Many of us today are first or second generation university graduates. I'm a lawyer by profession. But the point is this: most people in our societies are not lawyers. They are not business executives or architects or medical doctors or advertising agency directors or university lecturers, nor will they become any of that. We live in a meritocratic age that prizes ambition and achievement, but the great majority of people are still normal people with normal lives and normal jobs. They are factory workers or nurses. They are plumbers or supermarket cashiers. They are train conductors or kindergarten teachers. They are cleaners or construction workers. They are bus drivers or waitresses. And every single one of them every day contributes to making our societies work. A lawyer like myself doesn't know how to make trains run on time. Train drivers do. Nonetheless, among those in our societies who are wealthy in this meritocratic age, there is a perception at work that their own success, their own wealth, and their own university degrees are exclusively of their own making. This, quite wrongly, sometimes makes them view other people who are less wealthy with disdain and disrespect. And of course, this lack of appreciation is perceived quite accurately by people. They rightly feel that their work, their contribution to society, and their ways of life are not adequately recognized. This causes bitterness and resentment. As a result, a new cleavage has been opening in our societies. And it's a cleavage that populists have taken advantage of by pitting regular people against perceived elites. We ran our campaign precisely against this. We ran on a message of unity, reconciliation, and dignity for all. In all my campaign speeches, I spelled it out clearly. I reject a society in which one group of citizens looks down on their fellow citizens and in which that other group in turn feels unappreciated and disregarded. That is not the kind of society we as Social Democrats want. That is not the kind of society we can accept or tolerate. And that is not the kind of society that will be the future. To successfully tackle the great challenges that lie ahead, we need more social cohesion and more common purpose, not less. This is why we, as Social Democrats, must stand for a society of respect. But of course, it is not enough to just talk the talk. We must also walk the walk. That is why we spelled out very clearly what respect includes in material terms and obviously in our German case. This meant, for instance, a significant increase of the national minimum wage to 12 euro. In Germany, this will positively affect 10 million workers. And I'm always thinking about the reality of Sweden, which is better because your bargaining system is really creating a strong minimum wage. More collective bargaining and better working conditions, for example, in fields like healthcare and meat packaging. Protecting a pension system that people can rely on. Making sure that there is enough affordable housing so people with lower incomes too can live decent lives in decent homes. Issues like these in themselves are bread and butter issues. They are enormously significant for millions of citizens, but they are not glamorous or spectacular or woke. And they do not personally matter much to most people working in the media, which is one of the reasons why most of the media underestimated the effectiveness of our campaign on respect until very late. The lesson from this is, as Social Democrats, we must run on issues that matter to real people. But we cannot expect the media to get the point or to cheer us on for this. They'll say these issues are boring. When they do, we must not get distracted or rattled, but carry on regardless. The second big focus of our campaign was industrial transformation and the future. This was also related to our message of respect. The connection between the two is clear-cut. At present, too many people in our Western societies fear that they may have no stake in the future. With globalization, digitization, and climate change going on, they ask whether there will still be decent jobs and incomes for themselves, for their families or their children in 10, 20 or 30 years down the road. There is fear and there is uncertainty, particularly among the working class communities within our societies that today feel disregarded, disrespected and unappreciated. Therefore, as Social Democrats, we really must tackle two things at once. First, we must reassure everybody in society that they have an important role to play in the future of our societies. Second, we must come up with a clear strategy of economic and industrial modernization that will actually work. Both tasks go hand in hand, because only in an inclusive society of respect, people will take courage. Only then will they get involved and engaged. Only then they will be ready to try new things. Only then will they set out the path of modernization that is ahead of us. I believe that on this path of industrial modernization, Sweden and Germany have a lot in common. Both our countries are great exporting economies. We build cars, machinery, and equipment for the world. And both our countries are determined to remain successful manufacturing nations in the 21st century. But rapid transformation is needed. For 250 years, our wealth was founded on burning coal, oil, and gas. Now, within the next approximately 25 years, to meet the Paris goals and save our common planet, our economies will have to run on renewables. Because we all know we cannot wait. And that is why we must push very hard on the expansion of renewable energies, on the rollout of e-mobility, on the development of hydrogen economy, on the transformation of our basic industries. Let us work together towards these goals. Because it is our common responsibility to make it work. Because if we as Social Democrats and progressives fail, conservatives or populists will definitely not continue the tasks in a responsible and forward-looking way. Therefore, we must not fail. We must get this right. No two countries are better placed for this. Germany and Sweden together can be a great nucleus for progress. And what could be more fruitful than the two like-minded leaders of two like-minded countries? Two social democratic leaders who trust one another and who are determined to work together closely to ensure a good future for our nations, for Europe, and for the world. Magdalena has been a great colleague and a great friend of mine for years. And she will be a great leader of the SAP and I hope your Swedish government. Together, we will move our two countries and Europe forward. It will be my honor and my pleasure to work closely and trustfully with Magdalena in the coming years. Thank you very much. From Gong, Olaf Scholz.